Say, this is Gene. I'm joined by a good friend of mine. His name is Michael Bruner. I guess you go by Mike. Mike, thanks for stopping by, serving up comics, and you're going to help me review a very special anime, which is we're big fans of this character, Godzilla. A small introduction to Mike is we worked together at several wedding events. We used to work at a wedding videography company. And Mike, you kind of mentored me in editing. So we have one of my mentors on. Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself before we go into this review.
Well, professionally, I am a professional videographer. I found a way to turn my passion for movies into a living, and I'm the luckiest guy ever for it. Aside from that, I'm a writer. I'm working on my first feature film, and I love Godzilla. Say, other than I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, Livermore, with my wife and our two cats, and can't think of much else all that interesting about me.
Well, hey, Godzilla destroys San Francisco in him and the Mitos in the 2014 movie. So, neat little.
There was one moment when I saw that film where they say a Muto is going through Livermore, and in the theater I just yay, just call out my hometown.
Yeah, is that pretty close to where you're living now, or?
That is the town where I live.
Oh, okay. Dang.
So those giant cockroaches stepped on part of my town, and
Jeez.
I couldn't be more proud.
Darn Mutos. So Mike, I had you watch Godzilla Singular Point. This is an advanced review. We might have found this this copy through illegal means, but we're not going to really elaborate on that. We just saw it. So Godzilla Singular Point. This is not the first Godzilla anime. That was Godzilla. It was on Netflix. It wasn't really good. Have you seen those movies? The Godzilla anime.
I did.
Planet of the Monsters. I did not like any of those films.
I really wanted to like them. I really did. I love the concept behind it. Here's a new Godzilla in the future. Godzilla has evolved into the beast of the apocalypse, that everything moves around. And however, and I love the evolution of things like Mecha Godzilla. I liked King Ghidorah in its new form, but in the end, the creator said that he had no interest in Godzilla movies. He had no interest in the monster, and he had an interest in the character drama, and that's what came out. And to me, that was the least interesting part.
Wow. Yeah, that's yeah, I don't know why you would want to do a Godzilla movie if you don't like Godzilla. You know, that's just on nonsense. But I kind of felt that for this anime, the creators on it, they seem pretty on it for their Godzilla knowledge. Like, they seem to appreciate the monsters. What I love about this anime is it really showcases not just Godzilla, but all of the creatures that Toho owns. Like, it has Rodans actually, because they're a flock of like birds. They're like Hitchcock's birds. Anguirus is just kind of this like lazy dinosaur that just doesn't want to be picked up. Friggin' Manda, they have Manda too, right?
A bunch of Mandas.
They have a bunch of Mandas.
Swarm of Mandas.
Godzilla, of course. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like in the 4th or the 5th episode, do they have? I don't. That's not supposed to be Gabra, right? That's another monster entirely.
I didn't spot any others. They were pretty sparse in the creatures.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, Baragon. That weird faced monster with the graspable appendages.
Yeah.
We know this series quite well, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Baragon's one of Del Toro's favorite monsters, actually.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's his in top 3. He just likes the design. But what did you think? Do you watch like a lot of anime? Because I really enjoy anime as well. I'm just like really a big fan.
Some series will grab me.
Okay.
Full Metal Alchemist, One Punch Man, Knights of Sidonia. Some animes really grab me, not all do. Like, never gotten into Dragon Ball
Oh,
in
okay. I think you
Naruto.
would. Yeah, I think that might be past your time.
Yeah,
Because that was a really like 2000s kids like me love that show.
yeah, too
So
old for that.
yeah, but yeah, at least for this, it seems like they really had a lot of they take the most use of the medium because there's a lot of striking imagery. The art style is really neat. Um, the Godzilla skeleton in the end of the first episode, that's really cool. And the way I don't know, I was just kind of thinking like I hate to kind of generalize anime, but it reminded me of Pokemon, I guess, and just like making this all like just the kind of conservation of creatures, right? Not sure if that was past your time too, but if you remember
That,
Pokemon, yeah.
yeah. Oh, and as far as the art style goes, it's always a compliment to a TV show when I never fast forward through the opening credits.
Hmm. You like
And
the uh-huh.
like a lot of animes, it has a pretty lengthy opening credits with a real high energy J-pop song, but it's just so visually exciting. It just I never skip it. And that's always
Yeah.
a compliment when it's like, okay, you got something kind of fun here.
Hmm.
Oh, and as far as just being a tribute to old Godzilla, one of my favorite parts was just the sound effects.
Hmm.
It's like watching Star Wars: The Clone Wars on TV.
Hmm.
It was it wasn't Star Wars in the kind of grand, glorious way we all knew, but it had the sound effects, and those just put such a smile on your
Oh
face. And
yeah, I love they reuse like the Rodan roar and Gearus's roar. Of course, Godzilla's roar, which is iconic. Which is, if anyone doesn't know, it's a gate being opened, right? That's what they use
mm,
for the foley of it, the foliage of it. But Anguirus's roar is like, I love how that sounds. Like Ghidorah has that like. I know he's not in this, but like, those are really for Toho fans like us. Those are very like um very interesting sounds.
the series plays really tight with actually delivering the monster action. I mean, the first episode left me kind of cold because they were playing so coy with their monsters. It's like, come on, it's Godzilla
Hmm.
Singular Point. And
Yeah.
only at the
Yeah.
end did they show you the skeleton. But the sound effects did a lot to, oh, here comes Rodan.
Hmm. Yeah, it's well, you know what, I guess let's go into that. I was really surprised by the use of Jet Jaguar, which is
Yeah.
if any Mystery Science Theater fans are out there, he's one of the most dunked on sort of characters in Godzilla films. But like, let's play devil's advocate because I actually like Jet Jaguar. But like, Mike, how would you defend that character? Because he's very like
Well,
Ultraman-esque, right? He
well,
has. Mhm.
let me defend first why people dunk on him, because in the original Godzilla versus Megalon, he shows up in just the most unimpressive way possible. Here's a scientist, he's working on his own, he made a robot. It controls by his voice. The robot goes off, talks to some monsters, finds some other monsters, grows to 50 meters tall, and fights them. And
Mhm.
there is no better explanation given than that as to how he was able to achieve all that.
Yeah, well, wasn't he designed by a kid too, right?
Yes. So it was so half-assed. They didn't
Well,
really try to justify it in any reasonable way. The first Godzilla, they really justified how this creature could come up from prehistoric times. But Jet
mhm,
Jaguar just kind of, oh, here's my robot.
yeah,
So the new one, this
mhm,
one is not going to have that same criticism.
no, yeah,
They built it up very slowly, very consistently. He powers up, but he powers up in very reasonable jumps that you can follow. And the thing that I love about this series is the fact that they don't know they're in a Godzilla movie.
No, they don't. Yeah.
They don't know that Jet Jaguar is going to someday battle the king of the monsters. Whereas a lot of B movies, just everyone, someday this thing will rule the world. Just, yeah, you know what you're making here, the mad scientist form.
Yeah.
But Jet Jaguar, it starts off as something weak and kind
Mhm.
of goofy, and and the guy piloting him is goofy, and they don't know
Yeah, the
what
old
they're
grandpa.
doing.
Yeah.
They don't have the power, they don't have weapons, and then
Uh-huh.
very gradually it just builds up, and then you'll start cheering for Jet Jaguar too. Jet Jaguar, Jet Jaguar.
What are the lyrics to the Mystery Science Theater?
His mother never liked him much.
That's such a good that I love. That's like my favorite episode of Mystery Science Theater. All the Godzilla ones are MS3K. I know we're getting a little off topic, but this is kind of like how the podcast is. If anyone doesn't know that by now, I just love all the Godzilla bits and all the Mystery Science Theater 3000, like because it's just like was it like the one where the robots Crow and Servo are summoning Mothra, and Joel gets mad
Yes.
at them like, "Hey, you're making fun of those poor people. They just like Mothra." And then Mothra actually comes and tells them like, "It's like, hey, you summoned me." Mothra has this like really like he's voiced by Joel. He has this like nasally voice, even though Mothra's supposed to be a girl. But I just love that. Any like any thoughts on how the season ended, where it'll go? Will you stick around for a second season? I'm not sure if that's being made without spoiling too much for anyone that still needs to check this out.
I absolutely want a second season because the way that this series went, it was very coy with the monsters. It was very slow to introduce them, and by the time they introduced the king of the monsters, Godzilla, and I was beginning to think they were never going to get around to it because they were so slow. They
Yeah.
didn't really give enough to really satisfy.
Yeah, that was kind of my main issue with the anime because I'm like, oh, the end of the first episode, it's like, oh yeah, Godzilla skeleton, and then like he doesn't show up, or we have his tail. It's like, did Gareth Edwards write this? Because it's just like I want to see Godzilla. Because it's like he is the shark from Jaws, but he does need to make appearances.
And the comparison is very apt. Just like the Gareth Edwards version, it just gave you little teases. Here's the roar, here's a hint, here's a glimpse of what might be coming, and then when Godzilla does show up, it's just not that long.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, okay, I'm okay with this as long as you follow this up with another sequel and you give me some real Godzilla.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I guess that's kind of the main criticism, would you say? I mean, you would recommend for people to watch this, but
Absolutely, especially
yeah.
people who are already a fan of anime. It is absolutely what I like to call based on the anime metaphysics,
Mm-hmm.
where people aren't as much talking about 50-meter tall monsters and how to bring them down. They're mostly talking about the metaphysical forces that created this situation and the metaphysical calculation machines that will get them out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Anime metaphysics, Full Metal Alchemist, Evangelion, they all kind of
Oh yeah.
boil down
Are
to
you
that.
are you an Evangelion fan? I didn't even know.
Oh, I can't say I'm a fan.
Oh, okay. Darn, I love that series. So
I feel like that series went a little too far into its own metaphysics.
I mean a little bit, but it's created by Hidaki Anno, and Anno is just a weird guy. So don't you gotta understand that he's the weirdest. We love that guy, but yeah, definitely not for everyone. So I will
One
say that.
reason one reason I did like Planet of the Monsters is because it didn't fall into the metaphysics. It was a survival story. First movie was surviving on an Earth with Godzilla, and of course they mostly fail. The
Mhm.
second one was surviving on an Earth with Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, and they mostly fail.
Yeah.
And the third film was surviving on a world with Godzilla and Space Dragon King Ghidorah, and they mostly fail.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, at least it wasn't like this, but I guess we would recommend this. It is slow. We will say that. So kind of watch at your own caution. So we will say that. So,
And
um,
I enjoyed the characters.
yeah.
No one was there to be just the comic relief
Hmm.
douchebag. People
Yeah.
were,
Kind of the anime tropes, right?
yeah, but you still had the tropes. You still had the clever girl. You still, oh, and one thing that they put front and center is that there's a little cartoon dog. And for anyone curious about this, the little cartoon dog or the anime dog is
Hmm.
an AI program that gets into a brilliant young scientist's computer, and it takes that avatar to talk to her. And I found that tremendously charming. She'll be sitting there and eating her noodles while she's working, and the anime dog will be also eating noodles while talking to her. It'll text her and it'll be talking to her. I found it endlessly charming. What did you think?
It was very, very anime-esque. Just I love the little. It was just cute. It was just a little Hello Kitty sort of dog in this like monstrous anime. It was nice. I like stuff like that. Not everything needs to be like grim and gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Um.
the rest of
Mhm.
the characters I enjoyed.
Mhm.
I enjoyed. People responded reasonably to the fact that they felt that their world was being destroyed. The adults acted like adults. And even though the answer was anime metaphysics, they all seemed like smart, reasonable people who were trying to figure it out. So
Yeah.
I found it as plausible as an anime could be in that
Mhm.
situation.
Yeah. I would agree. I would agree.
Talk
So
about plausibility when we're talking about giant monsters. I don't know how reasonable that is,
yeah.
but
Yeah. Well, hey, that's a good point to kind of wrap up on. I want to say we have a quick giveaway for any viewers that are watching this on YouTube. I am wearing my cavity color shirt, if you haven't noticed, of Kong versus Godzilla, as I'm putting this up to the camera. But we do have a giveaway to announce. If you retweet this episode on Twitter, you will receive a digital code for the 4K of Godzilla versus Kong. And I will randomly select a viewer who retweets this. So be on the lookout for that. We'll announce it. And yeah, you could get a free giveaway. And this was a pretty tight movie. So yeah, I'll be glad to just raffle away because I don't use digital codes. It's all physical media, baby. That's all right. Mike, where can people find you at? Any social media? Anything you want to plug or promote?
you can find me on Facebook, Brogan Video, my video production company. Also on Instagram, Brogan Video, and been slow since the pandemic, but I'm always there.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I could definitely recommend his company. I worked there for a minute as an intern, so definitely have to get out there. And if you have any weddings in the Bay Area, definitely go there. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, G9892. You can find the Waffle Press at the Waffle Press on Twitter, at the Waffle Press Podcast on Instagram. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe. Even if there could be something you don't like, even if you don't, still subscribe anyway. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We've been professionally unprofessional.